What's going on, everyone? Welcome back once again to another episode of NLL Flash. My name is Tino Fera, and we are back once again for another season preview. Next up on the list, the Philadelphia Wings, and our analyst coming in to preview those Wings is Mr. Ty Merrow, back for another episode. Ty, what's going on tonight?
Hello, Tino. Happy to wait. This is Phillies. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. Ooh, big content guy. Oh, all right. This feels right. This feels good. I'm ready to talk about Philadelphia now.
Okay, so I think that answers the question. I think you're doing pretty good. All right, well, let's hop right into some lacrosse, despite your wardrobe for this evening. So, Ty, as always, what was the biggest move of the offseason for the Philadelphia Wings?
I always do my homework. I always go above and beyond, Tino. I think you know that. I'm going to give you three, but the biggest one we got to start off with is Joey Resetarits, 33-year-old, rejected the franchise tag from Albany, which was a whole crazy story this offseason. Jumped ship over to Philadelphia, and the dynamic righty is just really going to mesh into that system so well as far as what he does when he has the ball, when he doesn't. He was tied for the league lead in goals scored last season, 47, tied with Lyle Thompson and Tom Schreiber. It's just going to be really interesting to see what he does with that team. The other big one, Chad Tutton, came up from Georgia Swarm, signed with the Wings as a free agent. He's a really young defenseman, just high energy guy, which is something that they really want in that locker room, the Wings do. He led the Swarm in caused turnovers last year, just needing to be a stay-at-home defender. He's your man. If you need to push a transition, he's your man. And finally, the one that's going to be kind of under the radar a little bit, but still pretty big for them, is that they actually brought on Jeff McComb as the assistant coach, which is going to allow Paul Day to go back to being the head coach and not have to worry about those offensive duties that he was doing last year. It's going to be really interesting just to see what they have with someone that's dedicated to offense full time and how they're able to work those systems and make some adjustments throughout the season.
Now, the Wings were kind of a curious case last season because for a while they seemed to be the kings of the one-goal games. They were constantly winning these one-goal games nonstop until about the halfway point of the season, and then they were just having trouble scoring. So, Ty, in your opinion, how do they improve this year compared to last year?
You actually kind of touched on the main points I want to get at because, 5 of their games were in overtime last year. And while they won all of those, that's a razor's edge. You just can't rely on walking properly for an entire season. And that stretch where their offense had some woes, they had a 4-game losing streak where they averaged about 7 goals for per game. And it was right before the trade deadline. So they revamped the offense a little bit. And I think that kind of what you saw the results into it being, bringing in Sam LeClaire, signing Kyle Jackson as a street free agent after his surprise parting from the Halifax Thunderbirds. The team offense really kind of reshaped in a different way. This team really needs to run and move better. Like, they were the worst team as far as their transition from offense to defense and defense to offense went last year. They scored the least amount of transition goals out of all the teams. Like, their transition goal differential was -21. That's 13 worse than the next worst team in the NLL. So they have to move better. They have to be better in transition and making sure they capitalize on those chances. But they also have to get their offense to move a little bit better too. And I think that's one of the things, like getting LeClaire and getting Kyle Jackson in is supposed to help, like give them some dynamic difference from what they used to rely on, which is a lot of big bodies that all kind of played similar roles. Now you got Joey Rez over on that right side with Sam LeClaire's shiftiness, working with Benny Mack off ball, Ben McIntosh, and then Kyle Matisse. And then you go and look on that left side, you got some pretty thick boys over there. Corey Barelli, Matt Rambo, Blaze Reardon, and their first round draft pick from the 2021 NLL entry draft, Hunter Lemieux, who is the highest drafted NCDS player. But those are all big guys. You need someone that can while they do some great work off balls and helping out their teammate and everything, you need someone shifty to kind of keep defenses on their toes. And that's kind of what Kyle Jackson does. A little bit of sprinkle just really amplifies the flavor of that offense, as it were.
So our friends over at Coolbet have recently put out some futures odds for the 2023 NLL Championship, and Philadelphia falls in at plus 1,400 to win it all. Ty, is there anything about that surprises you? Or are you going to buy at that price? What do you think?
Much like Sarah with her New York preview, I'm not a gambling woman at all. It's fine. It feels about right. I think it's fair to say last season that Philadelphia was a team that, even though they made it to the postseason, their 9-9 record kind of suggested that compared to what they had on paper, they underachieved a little bit. I think they're a different team now. Their offense, I like a lot better than what they had last year. And their defense, it's a really good group of guys that play some really smart, cerebral defense. Chad Tutton does help them push the ball a little bit, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to improve them that much. It'll just be interesting to see. They still got a great goaltender in Zach Higgins right there between the pipes. So just, compared to the rest of the talent, that feels about right.
Ty, in honor of your Braves jersey, that's another preview knocked out of the park. Thank you very much for joining us for another episode of NLL Flash. I've been Tino Fera, and we'll see you next time.